Hello, I'm Christina Bean, and I'm going to do a short introduction of my project for my Communications Capstone class for Ashford University. In this course, we were supposed to do an introduction of ourselves by any way we wanted to, and I chose to do a documentary film style. And I, when I began this project, I decided that I would go from the perspective of other people that I knew in my life, that are in my life. And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, I mean, we always think that, or we always hope that who we think we are actually plays out in the real world. And sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. So I didn't know if who I think I am and how I think I bring myself across to people actually translated. So that was the premise, and this is the culmination of that premise, and of course many years of knowing these people, different stages and stuff. So here's my documentary film of me. The first question is, like, what is your name and when did we meet?
My name's Lorianne Kuhn, used to be Ince, and we met in junior high. I believe it was in 7th grade. Did we meet at Girl Scouts?
No, Girl Scouts came later.
I remember meeting in the cafeteria at junior high at Patrick Henry,
Hmm.
and then we just hit it off.
We did. We talked about everything.
Everything.
Everything. Yeah, we did. What was I like? Like, how did you experience me in junior high and through the high school that we...
You always seemed very joyful, you know? And you didn't always have a great home life. It could be shitty there. It could be hard. You know, your mom was sick a lot. That was hard. Your dad had his moments, you know. So you always still had like this happy spirit, even in the circumstances that were there, if that makes sense. You know, you were just, and you were up. You know, if I was down, you always lifted me up. It was good. And you're funny. One, you had this great laugh. I'm sure you still have it, but when you caught you by surprise, something funny,
Yeah.
oh, that was the best. It's like a little giggle.
Favorite ones. Ah, gotta try and do that. What not to do on your snowshoes. Don't lift them up and put the tail down.
My name's Chris Daniels. I am Christina's son, and I have known her my entire life.
What was I like as a mom for you?
Incredibly hardworking, dedicated, and always there for me and my sister when we needed something. Outgoing, intuitive, adventurous, just what you would call an epic mom.
What was it like being my kid?
Sometimes we're kind of hard because, you know, families run into issues economically, so sometimes it was hard, but we always figured ways out, and we always ended up having a good time.
How do you experience me now that you are an adult? And how has it changed for you, like from childhood to adulthood?
We always have intellectual conversations. We've always been very close. So it's nice to have that consistency, even now as an adult. I guess the only thing that's really changed is that we've gotten older and we've grown older, and but I guess one thing you could say has changed is our relationship has gotten stronger. That's definitely a big deal in my life, is my relationship with my mom, because she's practically my best friend, and you know, she means a lot to me. So as an adult, it's nice, like, if I have something going on I can't figure out, I can just call my mom up if she's not doing homework. And just talk to her about it and sort things out. But no, it's my mom's awesome.
Do you see any parts or places where I could change or improve?
It's not a fair question, but I understand it. I'll try to have the most unbiased opinion. I guess one thing I think that you could probably change today, if you were to change anything, would be to allow yourself to have more time to yourself and your husband. And like I said, you're definitely a dedicated and devoted person. Anything I've ever seen you do in life, you've exceeded with substantial, records. I mean, just like your grades, for one, outstanding. And like I said, I was going to try and be as most unbiased as I possibly could, which is kind of difficult when you're interviewing with your mom and you don't want to say the wrong things. But that would be it. Yeah.
Okay. What is your name, first of all?
Loretta Stark.
Okay. And when did we meet?
Oh my goodness. I want to say it was 2005.
What is your experience of me now?
Well, you're one of my best friends. You're like a big sister to me. I don't know how I would have gotten through a lot of the stuff that I've been through in the last almost 10 years if I didn't have you around. There's been a lot of stuff to happen, a lot of changes in my life and a lot of changes in your life, and I think because you've had a lot of experiences that you had a lot of past experiences that I was going through and currently go through. I think that, it's been pretty awesome to have somebody to help you through that and to support you or to support me, and when I didn't have a lot of that support from other people.
Okay. And that kind of segues into, like, what are some of the things that you and I have personally been through together, like the experiences?
The deployment, I think, was like the biggest thing, and definitely if I didn't have someone like you, who a lot of the spouses had children, which was great for my kids, but I sometimes needed that alone time where I didn't have to worry about my kids or worry about any children in the picture. I think it's been nice to be able to, during that time, to call someone who wasn't yelling at their kids in the background because I had my kids in the background, and just have somebody there and just to be able to calm me down, that you were going through the same amount of chaos that I was, but at the same time, it was a different chaos for you. And for me, I had like all the chaos of the children, and I was so overwhelmed at so many different points where I could just pick up the phone and I could call you and be like, I am going to freak out in about 2 seconds, and you would be able to, calm me down.
Okay. Ready?
Sure.
Okay, just for this, what's your name and... Yeah.
My name is Troy Lawson.
Okay. And how do you know me?
I know Christina through working out, through Green Mountain CrossFit, and also through the gym that I currently are using.
And the length of time you've known me?
Oh, I've probably known you for 2 years, maybe a little bit longer.
So, in that time, how do you, and in this concept of trainee type of situation, how do you experience me?
So my view of you is that you are someone who is somewhat of a perfectionist, somebody who wants to do it right, somebody who works really hard and needs a little bit of encouragement along the way.
If you could fix one flaw about me, what would it be?
The one thing that I see that you struggle with is a bit of self-confidence. Knowing that you are on the right path. I would love for you to be able to see yourself through my eyes and see yourself as an athlete.
What is your name?
Harley.
How do you know me?
Yes, you're my Grammy.
Okay. What do you think is fun about Grammy?
We go biking.
What do you think is not fun about Grammy?
Just sitting around doing homework all day.
What kinds of things do we do that you do like, aside from biking?
Kayaks.
Kayaks?
Stand-up paddleboards.
Oh. And what other things do you not like that you do with Grammy?
Shopping.
Shopping? Oh, okay. And if you could say, like, one thing to me that is, like, what do you think about me?
That you're fun.
Really? Cool. All right. And we're done.
That was it.
First, what is your name
Alexis Daniels,
and your relation to me?
daughter,
Okay. So you've known me how long?
31 years.
What was it like being my kid?
What was it like being your kid? As far as I can remember, pretty awesome. I remember you working a lot and making me do chores. And by doing the chores, it made me grow up to be a respectful person. And when you wanted something, you had to work for it, no matter what it was. So basically, I did a lot of work growing up, but it taught me respect.
So now that you're an adult, what is your experience of me now? How has that changed?
As being an adult, my outlook on you has changed in the mature way. It's basically, I see you in a different way. I see you more as my mom than somebody who just worked and bought me stuff and I look at you more as a best friend and somebody that I look up to no matter how old I get. I'm always going to ask you questions about everything. It doesn't matter what it would be, about childcare, working, life in general. So I look at you more as, obviously my mom, but I look at you more as a best friend type of figure that I can talk to you no matter what. When I was a kid, I couldn't do that. It seemed weird talking to you, but now it doesn't seem weird at all.
If there was one thing that you think that I should change, like a flaw that I have or whatever, what would that be?
If I could change one flaw about you? The one flaw that I think that you have that if I had the power to change, it would be what I have gained from you growing up is the jumping to conclusions about small things and not looking at the big picture first. Seeing the small thing that's in front of you right now and freaking out about that instead of thinking about what could happen in the future. Maybe this isn't happening now because it shouldn't happen now. So that's the flaw. If I had the power to change, it would be that. Not to jump to conclusions to the smallest things. Look into the future and look at the bigger picture first.
What do you like to do?
Okay. What's your name?
Alan Bean,
And what's your relation to me?
husband.
When did we meet and how long have we known each other?
Oh, when did we meet? Would have been opening morning of archery season 94.
Okay. And then it's 2016 now, so
It is.
what is your experience of me?
My experience of you is over the last 20 some odd years is I have watched you become who you are now and have had the opportunity to love you through the whole thing. And it's been a rocky road, but a very entertaining road. And I really love the way you have fought and stayed strong through the whole thing. Had my doubts to start with. Took a little poking. But I convinced you, finally, that you are as strong as what you are now. And you're only getting stronger. And that's pretty much what I've experienced, as you went from somebody who was not so strong to a very strong individual.
So from your perspective, what are some of my strengths?
Your strengths are your resolve, for one. You become this individual that's like a pit bull. You just don't let go. If you see something you want, you grab it and you go. That's another one of the big changes. I mean, before you were, I don't know if I can do it, and now you're just like, yeah, well, whatever, it's happening, and that's the way it is.
So what, if any, are my weaknesses?
You have them. Your big weaknesses are, well, I'm gonna be straight up honest. Your biggest weakness is how you feel about yourself in, well, your size, for one. That's a weakness for you. It's always been a weakness. It's like your Achilles heel. You fight with it. You struggle with it. It's like your kryptonite. You fight with it. And You know, I wish that was not an issue for you, and I wish you didn't have to fight with it, but that's one of your weaknesses because you do really hang on to that.
Doing what I'm doing, and or at least attempting to, and I'm perfectly healthy. All the results came back, and my doctor said, no, everything's good. You look good. Everything, your blood work's great. Your thyroid's fantastic, and your cholesterol is amazing for a 40-something-year-old. And because I don't remember when I had it done, and I sat there for a minute, and I looked at her, and I said, so what you're telling me is I'm a healthy fat woman. That's what you're telling me. And she just sat there and said, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. What do you see as the one constant that I've always had?
Oh, now I gotta think. One constant, because you got a few of them, but the one that's been the most consistent constant through the whole thing, love for your children and your family.
So what is the one thing, as you see it, that defines me, who I am? If you could choose just one thing.
Choose just one thing, what would define you?
Or myriad of things.
Yeah. Your artistic side. The what I mean by that's the inability to stay locked on one thing that you want to learn. You have a tendency to want to keep learning new things. Then when you think you've got it down, you want to move on to something else.
So what I ended up having to do, like I expressed out there really quickly, is I'm changing the whole rims. This is my new rim, my old rim. And this actually has only 6 on the back, and my other one had 7, so I have to change the gear packs out. So that's what I'm doing. I've got my tools right here. What do you call these, Pablo? Just a bolt, or I don't know?
This is called a freewheel remover.
Freewheel remover, okay. So what I need to do is I need to put it in there and wiggle it so it fits in real nice like that. Okay, and then the freewheel goes like this, and I have to go like this. I hope. Hang on. Stop filming me. It is the back, right? Because it's not this way, it's that way, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit tight.
Oh my goodness, it's tight.
You just have to kind of undo the force of all that settling force.
Yeah. Oh, that is not happening for me. Oh, sure. Just change my tire.
Yeah, it's a...
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Yay! That's quite a bit. Woo! I'm telling you. No, I should be able to. I think so. This is amazing. I'm so excited that we're here with the boat. That's cool. They were just eyeball level when they were up there, and then they just sank down to, now they're like way below, as you can see. They're like way down there. But they have to get to that level, which is not very, that's way far down there. That's really neat. That's amazing.
Taking a picture of the ground.
Okay, so we're at this celebration for the 4th of July, which it's not the 4th, it's actually the 3rd. And we're kind of doing like an experiment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we came in this area right here where we're standing, and there was nobody here, like nobody. We're like the only people here. Now, all these people are standing here because we stopped in the middle of this road. Now, there was absolutely, correct me if I'm wrong, there was nobody here, right?
Nobody.
Nobody. Nope. No. We've been standing here, and now they're like really close behind me. Look. That's so weird. It is such, I don't care. We've been here, and now people will come and go, but it was really interesting that all of a sudden they're all standing around us. Yeah, I love people watching.